I believe that Chapter 2 OG could save Fortnite, but how? Yo, what's up guys? It's Tricky. Glad you tuned in. Happy to see you. Hope you're having a fantastic Monday. I think we all know now that Chapter 2 OG is coming back very soon. With the end of Chapter 5 rolling around, there's been some anticipation from a lot of Fortnite fans waiting for OG Chapter 2 to come back. The loot pool, mythics, map, oh yeah, how could I forget quarantine? It was just such a peak era for Fortnite. Some new information is leaked on the format and structure of Chapter 2 OG. It will consist of Chapter 2 Season 1 on the first week, Chapter 2 Season 2 on the second week, and Chapter 2 Season 3 on the third week. And following Chapter 2 OG will be Chapter 6. I'm honestly really excited for this season. This is the time competitive was really starting to rise, and we had a lot of daily tournaments during quarantine. And it felt like everyone on your friends list was online because they were either playing Warzone or playing Fortnite. There are a few problems to bringing this OG season back, however. How is Fortnite supposed to keep the Chapter 2 fans that came back to the game and lead them into Chapter 6? As we all know, Fortnite changed the movement after OG Chapter 1 season and did an entire rework. A lot of pro players and casual players did not like this change at first, and I was one of them. The movement felt a lot slower, clunkier. It made you feel like someone's grandma shopping around a store. Now, as a lot of players may know, they did change the movement a second time after a week and sped up the pace, matching the old movement. So, why does this matter? In my opinion, it doesn't. But for a lot of old players who quit the game, just because of the visual movement change, it does. Honestly, there's no hope for the people who don't like the new movement. I've just realized this over the course of a year because since they reverted the speed and it's just a visual change, why are people still mad? Yes, they added mantling, sliding, and sprinting, but that came out in Chapter 3 Season 2. The moral of the movement change is if you don't like the visual change, just don't play the game at this point. Bullet Drop is the most controversial addition to Fortnite since it's been added. It completely changed the gunplay for Fortnite and has made it 10 times harder overall for you to hit a shot. Before Bullet Drop, there was hit scan. If you aim down sights and shot, you would 100% hit the player or object you shot at, but only if your crosshair was condensed, like this. Now, you have to lead your bullet and track the player instead of hitting them dead on. Personally, I didn't like this addition. It made the game feel a lot less casual. I understand why Fortnite did it. Everyone that plays the game regularly now is too good. Even if you look back at Chapter 3, the lobbies are a lot more advanced now, and you have 7-year-olds building the Eiffel Tower in less than 5 seconds. The best way to create a middle point for both casual and competitive players for both movement and bullet drop, I believe, are community polls. Remember those little pop-ups that you would get after completing a game? The community polls. Those were really fun to do. And granted, they still have them in the game, but they're far less frequent. I feel like if Fortnite added more community polls during Chapter 2 OG, they would have the trump card and solution over most other games that don't bring back OG seasons, just because of the player base that they will have online and the amount of people that will be online. Let the community decide and see if it's worth adding something before they could potentially lead players that got back online for Chapter 2, and if it would be able to lead more players into Chapter 6. If they would have done this in Chapter 1 OG, we wouldn't have had a mess at the launch of Chapter 5. It felt like there was no warning, and when I first got online for Chapter 5, I was mad just because there was no heads up, because it's a very game-changing mechanic. Overall, adding community polls only has a positive for the old and new Fortnite communities. SBMM, or skill-based matchmaking, has been added to almost every game because it adds equal skill players to be in equal skill lobbies. Let's say you lose 3 games in a row. You would then be bumped down into similar lobbies where the players are more equal in skill, or maybe even worse. Now, at first this seems like a good idea and all, but what's the point of this for casual? Back in Chapter 1 there was no skill-based matchmaking, and that's why it felt way more satisfying to get a win, unlike nowadays. I think my mom could hop on now and probably drop a win blindfolded. I think Fortnite should obviously keep ranked and focus on SBMM, but for pub matches, it just feels unnecessary and takes fun out of winning the game. Just last week, I dropped 40 kills solo squatting on stream, and it was super easy because all I found were bots. Because I don't even play pub games. If SBMM was removed, it would feel a lot more competitive and satisfying for me and the viewers because that would show true skill in a player. It would be like a FaZe member hopping in a bot lobby on BO2 Nuketown and winning the game. Now, I think this is the most controversial of them all, and that is simplicity. the quality or condition of being easy to understand or do. Now, I got some backlash on my previous video, why OG Chapter 2 will ruin Fortnite, and I believe I brought up some very valid points. Donald Mustard leaving Fortnite and not directing Chapter 2 OG, the addition of too many mythics and making those mythics from collaborations, but the biggest point that I talked about was simplicity. Yes, the game needs to advance, all games do, but at what point is too much? A lot of people are stating that Fortnite adding all these mythics is perfectly fine and it keeps the game innovative. And yes, that's fine and all if it's in a small quantity, but at what point does innovation add too much to a game and make it feel like Fortnite is just shoving content at you that only feels like they're focusing on quantity over quality? Just in the game today, we have Iron Man mythics, chainsaws, 4 medallion locations, claws, doomfists that almost one-shot you, boombillies, and the list goes on. These honestly shouldn't be in the game at the same time because it does make a really hectic playstyle. A lot of individuals are saying that these items are easy to adapt to, but they're really not. It just makes the in-game gameplay seem chaotic because of the amount of overpowered items that are easy to get. And as you saw, some of these items are not even guns. They're bombs, they rip through builds, and some even do ridiculous damage. I see some players push me only with these items and they manage to kill me because of how overpowered they are. If Fortnite adds a bundle of these items into Chapter 6, they will not be able to retain their old players moving forward. In my opinion, I think after the first Chapter OG, Fortnite adding the new movement change and bullet drop, it just made it harder for the players that were getting on casually to adapt to these metas. Us, the people that play the game almost every day, are used to these meta changes because we are so used to Fortnite adding changes to the game weekly, so it was easier for us to adapt. However, for these casual players that don't play as much and are not competitive, it is way tougher to adapt to, especially if they play other games. If Fortnite keeps a simplistic style at the beginning of Chapter 6, they could slowly introduce items like they do now and grow off of that. As I stated earlier, community polls could make a huge difference in how the release of Chapter 6 plays out, and so forth. A lot of players also need to understand that simplicity is not because of a nostalgia block. Simplicity is based on the ease of adaptation for new and current players of the game. I'm fine with new items being introduced, but the frequency is just way too high. But that's all I have for y'all today. Remember to use code TRICKYS in the Fortnite item shop. I just did a giveaway to my 2,000th subscriber. I'll be gifting him the Chapter 2 OG Battle Pass. So if you do want to win a Battle Pass like him for Chapter 2 OG, make sure to subscribe and use code TRICKYS. And also join my Discord and send proof in the giveaway section that you use my code. I hope you have a great rest of your day, afternoon, evening. It's been your boy Tricky, and I'm out. Peace.